As promised, I'm giving you the highlights now of the inspirational words and deeds of Ward Scarman Foley.
Surgeries were just part of my life. And when I worked at a donut shop one time and slipped and fell in a 400-degree fryer. Another time I was almost killed by a drunk driver. Another time 5 kids beat me up and I had to have neck surgery. But all of these things, all of these so-called tragedies really strengthened me and made me stronger, made me funny. When I looked in the mirror in high school, I had to like what I saw. If I couldn't laugh at me, no one was gonna like me. If teasing and making fun of you hurts you, then the person's gonna keep doing it because that's why they're doing it. But if it doesn't hurt you and you can laugh it off, all of a sudden you begin to develop a bond and an acceptance of someone who's trying to hurt you. Most people with disabilities want to laugh, but they don't know how. It's very hard growing up to be in pain or to be in society and feel less of a person. I always felt I had to be better to be equal, and that's hard. But as a child growing up, when a child learns to eat by himself, or say they're drinking a glass of milk, and they drop it, and it goes all over them, and you start laughing, a child's gonna laugh. First of all, they're thinking, oh my God, I'm gonna get in trouble. But when you laugh at what they did with them, it brings so much comfort. Everybody basically loves their children. But when you laugh with that child, it just increases that love because they're growing up with humor.
And then as I developed and as I looked at what I was really learning and how I developed into finding compassion and empathy and how all these scars helped me become who I am. You know, if you erase these scars, I'm not who I am. It's those scars that make us who we are, and it's what we do with them that counts. That's one of the problems with the scars. It's people just look for excuses. It's up to me. I can find excuses all day long, and it gets me nowhere. And that's one of the things I find most in society doing speeches is the people finding excuses and blaming other people for their problems instead of embracing their problems and moving forward. I'm not always happy, but when I get out of bed in the morning and I can walk to the bathroom and I can brush my teeth all by myself, I'm pretty happy. It's our perception that's always ours. Pain is all relative, but I can have a bad night. And instead of laying in bed and tossing and turning and whining and complaining to myself, if I get out of bed and I drive to the hospital and visit a hospice patient at 3 in the morning, suddenly my pain isn't as bad. It's just another way that we can get out of ourselves, help somebody else, and it really helps ourselves. I was born with a lot of my problems, so I've had my whole life to learn how to deal with them. What a gift and a blessing that is. So I've learned how to deal with when I don't feel well, or I've learned how to deal with things. Look what they've taught me. Look at what I have become. I'm probably the strongest person I know. Even though I have weak moments, I can laugh at myself. Wow, that's the best. When you begin to like what you see, that's when you begin to live. Eventually, you'll begin to laugh at what you see. And when you can laugh at you, and you've talked about this, you do it all the time. Laughter truly is one of our greatest gifts. And the way I can just see in their eyes of how lost so many of these kids are, it's just that part makes me sad, but it keeps me going because I know the love and unconditional love that I have for them. And I wish all of us could have that for everyone. I wish we could, and maybe I live in a naive or fictitious world, but I would rather live in my happy little world and try to help others and try to make a difference than do nothing. There's nothing more beautiful than that. All I did is reach out to help somebody else, and it helps me more than it does even that girl. Don't ever be afraid to ask for help, no matter how old or how young you are. We all have scars, each and every one of us. A lot of mine you can see, but we all have them.
We're all given life. We're not given a good life or bad life. We're all given life, and it's up to us to make it good or bad. We choose if we're going to look for the good or the funny or the happy things in our life, or if we're going to whine and complain and find excuses and blame others. It's so easy to blame others for our problems. It doesn't matter how many things I go through in life. It doesn't mean I'm exempt from having to go through more. Nobody does this to me. It's just the way life is. And when I wake up in the morning, I'm going to be thankful for what I have and what I can do.